Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. And I'm finally happy bringing you a Wolves rumour that seems credible. I mean, it's been a pretty, let's just call it, drab start to the transfer window for us Wolves fans. And of course, you know, there's been a bit of unrest between the fan base. And to be honest, I think rightfully so. It's not really been going to plan. And to be fair, panic stations have been happening, but things might be picking up for us Wolves fans. Obviously, we've had a couple of positive transfer rumours in the last couple of days, but this one seems to have some credibility to it. And to be honest, guys, it's a transfer that I think would be a very good transfer for us. But guys, I am going to jump into the player that is in question. But before I do, please do me a favour, hit that like button, and please do subscribe to the channel. We are a general football channel, but we're both Wolves fans on this channel, and we do lots of Wolves content as well, including Wolves watch along. So hopefully there is something for you on this channel. So help us out, hit that subscribe button. But let's waste no more time, because there's actually a lot to unpack about this transfer in a short transfer video. But guys, it is Mr. Enzo Fernandez, the young Argentinian centre midfielder who actually plays for the Argentinian club River Plate. Now, it's been rumoured, the rumour actually broke last night in various sources, that we are interested in the player. And what's gave it a bit more meat about this is the fact that it's been reported that our recruitment director, Matthew Hobbs, is actually going to be landing in Argentina today, apparently, to try and get this deal done. Now, of course, what is interesting is, once again, we have competition, which hasn't been great for us. I'm talking João Palhinha, who, of course, now looks to be going to Fulham, who's apparently been a target for us for over 3 years. We do have competition with Benfica. So what's interesting is the fact that Benfica can, of course, offer him European football, but what we can offer him is a chance to play in the Premier League. And reportedly, the wages, we apparently can offer higher wages as well. So maybe those two things will entice the player to come. So what's obviously, as I've said, what gave this a bit more credibility is the fact that the reports have cited that we are actually going out to Argentina to try and strike a deal rather with River Plate, which obviously gives it a bit more meat on the bones. At the moment, we've been very much interest FC, haven't we, in having multiple interesting players, but not seeing anything go over the line yet. But let's speak a bit more about the player himself and what it will take to get him to the club. Enzo Fernandez, young player, 21 years of age. Now, we know this suits Wolves very well. We know that they like to sign players young, the likes of, I mean, look, Ruben Neves, we signed him young, Diogo Jota, Fabio Silva, Aït-Nouri, the list goes on and on. We like to bring young players in, get them into the club for a decent fee whilst they're young, and, you know, they either stay with us for a long time, or as we've seen with Jota and maybe perhaps Neves in this transfer window, we will then like to sell them on for a substantial higher fee in the future. So he fits our profile very well. And another reason that, you know, obviously this is an interesting thing for me is because in that Ask Wolves segment, a lot was talked about how now, because of Brexit, we've got more chance to get into different markets. Of course, we saw that with the signing of Mascara, who was obviously a Colombian player, joining the ranks last summer. But now we're also seeing, you know, getting into that North American market a bit more. Could that be something that we see become a bit more of a familiar, you know, I suppose, view in our signings of players that we bring in? Now, one thing I did want to point out is the fact he plays centre mid as well. Now, that would probably cite the fact that, you know, we already know we've perhaps lost João Palhinha to Fulham. So maybe this does suggest, have we lost out on him? Or maybe the plan was we've actually thought, you know what, Fulham can have him because Enzo Fernandez is our target. Maybe I'm being a bit of a deluded Wolves fan, I'm sure some would feel, but I'm trying to keep positive. And the last thing is the release clause. The release clause currently stands at 20 million euros. It's believed that that's going to need to be struck to make the player leave. Now, what's interesting about this is obviously Benfica are also willing to pay that. So it's going to be interesting because, you know, we know our management team like to go out. They like to try and negotiate. I don't think there's going to be any way you're going to negotiate this fee. Maybe it'll be a fact of, can we negotiate the way we're playing in installments or something? But I do feel if you're going to want to get Enzo Fernandez, we need to just not, you know, mess about. We need to just go for him and pay that £20 million euros fee that is in his release clause. Now, one thing that's also, of course, interesting about this transfer is the fact that, you know, when you look at this deal, I think it would be a very good deal. I think he's a player that has a lot of talent. He's been spoke about in very high regard, but he might not be available straight away. Now, it's interesting because the player himself apparently would maybe prefer staying at River Plate and then joining in January. But another option might be to join in October as well, when the obviously Argentinian league has actually finished. Well, it finishes actually towards January, but October is another option. So it is interesting because we need signings now, especially in that centre mid department. We can't be starting our season without a player in that centre mid department, because especially if we lose Neves, Moutinho's contract situation still unclear. And yes, we have been linked with midfielders, but of course it's still, look, we could have basically one, maybe two senior centre mids starting the season if we're not careful. So I feel there's a lot that could go on here, but hopefully we can get the deal done. Hopefully he can join us sooner rather than later. I think it would be a very good signing. I really do. I've read a lot of positive things about him as a player. Typically plays either as a centre mid or a defensive midfielder. So you could imagine that maybe we could hopefully see Enzo Fernandez and Nunes, who has, of course, been linked over the coming weeks as the new look to our midfield. But we shall wait and see and hold our breaths as Wolves fans, because it's not been a steady ride this transfer window. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Is this a signing you'd like to make? And also help me out as well. As I said at the start of the video, we do lots of general content, but a lot of Wolves content too on this channel. So please help me out. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel as well. And hopefully I'll see you on another video. Take care and goodbye.